It started when Daniel and his wife, Claire, moved into what they thought was their dream home, a quiet suburban neighborhood with clean sidewalks, trimmed hedges, and a promise of peace after years of city chaos. The house was perfect. A big yard for their dog Max, a spacious porch, and friendly-looking neighbors who waved at them during the move. But there was one neighbor who didn't wave. Her name was Linda, though everyone in the cul-de-sac whispered another name behind her back, Karen, the HOA president. From the very first week, Linda made her presence known. She knocked on Daniel's door at 7 a.m. one Saturday holding a clipboard. "Your garbage cans were left out past 6 p.m. That's a violation of HOA rules," she said without greeting. Daniel, caught off guard, apologized, thinking that would be the end of it. But that was only the beginning. Over the next few weeks, Linda issued a flood of complaints. The grass was half an inch too long, Max barked too loudly at the mailman, Claire's flower pots didn't match the approved neighborhood color scheme. Once, she even snapped photos of Daniel's car because a tire was barely touching the sidewalk. Claire tried to reason with her, but Linda wasn't interested in reason, she thrived on control. Soon, fines started showing up in the mail. Small at first, but then bigger. Daniel realized that Linda wasn't just enforcing rules, she was targeting them. The final straw came when Linda demanded that they remove the small wooden ramp Daniel had built for Max, who had hip problems. "Ramps are not part of the approved exterior design," she said smugly. Claire's eyes filled with tears as she asked Linda if compassion was also against the HOA's rules. Linda only smirked. That night, Daniel decided enough was enough. He wasn't the type to shout or cause a scene, but he was meticulous, patient, and clever. If Linda wanted to play HOA politics, he would play it better. First, he started digging through the HOA charter, the thick, boring document no one ever bothered to read. To his surprise, he discovered dozens of rules that Linda herself was breaking. Her fence was 2 inches taller than the maximum height. Her backyard shed wasn't painted in an approved color. She had holiday lights still up in February, another violation. Daniel began documenting everything: photos, dates, times. He compiled a neat binder full of evidence. Next, he quietly talked to his other neighbors. Turns out, almost everyone had a Linda story. She had fined one family for having chalk drawings on their driveway, another for parking a visiting friend's car overnight. People were sick of her, but most felt powerless. That's when Daniel shared his plan. The following month, during the HOA's annual meeting, Linda sat proudly at the front with her clipboard, prepared to lecture everyone about compliance. But when it came time for open discussion, Daniel stood up. Calmly, he pulled out his binder and began reading off her violations one by one. Gasps spread through the room. Linda's confident smile started to fade. According to Section 8, Article 4, your fence exceeds height restrictions by 2 inches, Daniel read. Section 9, Article 2 states that exterior sheds must be painted in the community's approved colors. Yours is not. Section 11, Article 1 prohibits holiday decorations past January 15th. I have dated photographs of yours on February 20th. By the time Daniel was done, Linda's face was redder than a stop sign. Neighbors were whispering, some even laughing. But Daniel wasn't finished. He flipped to the last page. Finally, Section 14 allows for a vote to remove the HOA president if they are found in repeated violation of the rules. He looked around the room. Shall we put it to a vote? Hands shot up around the room, almost unanimously. Linda tried to argue, but the bylaws were clear. She had been dethroned by her own obsession with rules. For the first time in years, the neighborhood felt united, against her. Afterward, Daniel and Claire walked home with Max trotting happily beside them. Their neighbors stopped to thank them, even offering to help repaint the shed Linda would now have to fix on her own dime. The reign of HOA Karen was over, and peace finally returned to the neighborhood. But the sweetest part wasn't just that Linda lost her power, it was that she had been taken down using the very rulebook she had weaponized against everyone else. Daniel didn't raise his voice, he didn't break a single law. He simply gave Karen a taste of her own medicine. And in that neighborhood, revenge had never felt so satisfying.